Big thanks to masterbuilt for sponsoring this video.
This is my favorite cut to barbecue with in 2023, and here's why. You can use this cut of beef to cook low and slow on your barbecue, just like you can with a brisket. And the result is phenomenal. You can grill this cut just like a steak and have a really flavorful steak. But you can also use this piece of meat to grill straight over direct heat, searing it off, and then eat it. But besides low and slow or grilling it indirect heat, you can also do something else with it. And I'm going to show you what that is. First, let's take a closer look at this beautiful piece of beef. It's got great intramuscular fat. It's got a nice little fat curve in the outside and the inside and the eye. The color is nice and dark red, which means it has a lot of flavor. This is somewhere in between a working muscle and a really tender muscle. But the reason why I love this piece of beef more than all the others is because this one is affordable. Of course, I'm talking about the chuck steak, and what I'm about to make out of this chuck steak will blow your mind. I'm going to season the chuck steak with salt and pepper. Of course, I'm going to hit it with both sides because this is a thick piece of meat. The first step of cooking my chuck steak is going to be searing it on a hot grill, and I'm going to be doing it on the masterbuilt gravity fed smoker. First, I'm going to open the hopper and load it up with charcoal. I'm using 100% hardwood lump charcoal. Before I'm going to light it up, I'm going to remove these two plates. Then I'll open up the ash drawer, put in a couple of fire starters. Once lit, it's time to close the door. I'm going to set up my masterbuilt for direct cooking. Remove the grill grates, remove the heat deflector. Now the box for direct heat goes in, the grill grates goes in, and then it's time to turn it on and set it to a temperature of 300 degrees Celsius. Once the grill is hot, it's time to start cooking. And how do you know it's hot enough? Well, look at that. We got giant flames shooting out of the grill. And all I need for my recipe is to get a good sear on the outside, so I'm just going to put this on the grill. I'm going to keep my eye on it because this is going to happen pretty fast. Look at that, we got a sear. I'm going to rotate it. I want to get as much crust on it as I can in a short amount of time. You can see that the outside is gray with a nice sear of the grill grates that are really giving the Maillard effect. But I want more color on it, so I'm just going to keep going until I have what I want. With this, I'm not looking to get this thing cooked. I just want that sear on the outside for flavor, and the cooking part comes later. That's going to be plenty of sear, time to take it off. Now that the searing part is done, I'm going to switch over to indirect heat. Therefore, I'm going to close the lid, shut off the machine, and give it a few minutes to cool down a little bit before I switch out the manifold. I'm going to take the grill grates off, remove the manifold, and now it's set up for indirect heat, and I can put the grill grates back in. Now close the lid and turn it back on and set it to cook at a temperature of 160 degrees Celsius. That's roasting temperatures for later. First, I'm going to slice fine 4 red onions. Then I'm going to take my Scottsburg cast iron pan, put in a lump of butter, melt it down, put in 300 grams of bacon strips, render them down, and add the red onion to it. Once the onions turn soft, then it's time to take it out. Of course, I'm going to use that bacon fat to fry a white onion. Once that's soft, I'm going to add 800 milliliters of passata. And passata is one of the smoothest tomato paste you can get. It is a grated tomato paste, so not the ones that you have, the condensed ones, but a real velvety soft touch to the mouth. One of the best things you can get for a tomato style sauce. I'm going to season it with a little bit of salt and a little bit of fresh ground pepper. I'm going to put the lid on and let that come up to a boil. Then I'm going to take my oven tray, put the bacon and onion in, spread it out nice and evenly, and now I'm going to slice up my beautiful chuck steak. And as you can see, it's still raw in the center, but what I want to achieve is I'm going to cut it up into strips, and that's going to make sure that once I serve it, everybody's going to get one of these beautiful strips, maybe even 2 or 3.
Only 2?
Well, I'm going to get 4, you're going to get 2. Look at the beautiful chuck meat. Nice dark red meat, intramuscular fat, amazing. God, I love these secret cheap steak hacks that nobody knows about. And if you and I can keep it just for our little secret club, we're gonna be golden for a long time.
You realize that you're a YouTuber, right?
Yeah, but nobody knows. We're in that niche, bro. As long as Joshua Weissman and Google Foods are not gonna cook this, we're set. And that chuck steak goes in on the bacon and onion. The bacon and onion is gonna protect the chuck steak while cooking. I'm gonna top it off with PitmasterX classic barbecue rub seasoning. Of course, you can find that on the PitmasterX website. Let's put that tomato sauce on top of this, and that's gonna make all the difference, and it's gonna bring the whole dish together. It's the binder for the dish. We're gonna finish off strong by making a bechamel sauce, starting with 100 grams of butter. Let that melt in a hot pan, then add 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, stir it up, and start adding milk until you have a nice sauce. This is super easy to do at home. You shouldn't be scared about making one of these sauces. It's just a little bit of butter, a little bit of milk, and a little bit of flour. And also the measurements are not sacred. If you're getting it a little bit too thick, add a little bit more milk. If you're getting it a little bit too thin, just add a little bit of flour. Look at the nice brown color. This is the consistency that I'm looking for. This goes onto our dish, and just spread that out. Mixing it a little bit with that tomato sauce, boosting the flavors. And this is what my kids love the best, that bechamel sauce that makes everything rich and creamy and super, super flavorful. And then all it needs is a little bit of finishing touch. Whew. Keep it simple. A little bit of shredded cheese. And this is why I switched to indirect heat, so that we can roast this beautiful casserole. Is that the right word? It's going to be very, very much a tasting frenzy. Wow! Look at this. Woo! Let's just take a scoop out of this and enjoy the moment in silence. Here we go. Oh, now that is what I was looking for. All of that beautiful beef start to render down, turn into this amazing dish. Freaking delicious. Stringy cheese, delicious food. It's like eating a lasagna without the lasagna leaves, and then better because there's barbecue rub in it, and it tastes freaking amazing because the meat is grilled. It is literally, it's insane. You need to try this.
I'm trying this.
That's good, right? Chuck steak. Cheap, widely available, and the best thing that ever hit your barbecue.